I had a language barrier.
Laissons-nous développer notre Afrique. Merci beaucoup.
It was not easy, but because of my determination, I made it possible.
She arrived in the UK at 29 years of age, unable to speak a word of English.
I live in the country, I need to communicate with people. If I don't communicate, I can end up in prison for we on the wall. I remember one of the girl, I plaited her hair and I was late. And she called me, she said, Afi, where are you? I say, I'm late, there is a traffic ginger. And when I arrived, they say, what did you say before? I said, traffic ginger. I said, it's traffic jam. I said, I hear somebody say traffic something, but I thought it was ginger.
From her living room to a factory, from recycled clothes to rebuilt lives, she created a space where immigrant women find language, confidence, and independence.
When you going somewhere, don't have stereotype mind or a negative mind in your brain that those people are like this, I cannot make it. I don't function like that. One of my friends, her sister is a police woman. She told me that Afi, I was racist before knowing you. Knowing you now changed a lot in my life. I used to think black people are ignorant, they are criminal, but you're not. And now I know that they teach us a lot of horrible and lies about you people, and I need to change.
This is the story of Afi Dometi, and this is Critical Factor. So Afi, to that person who's watching this, who doesn't know who you are, what do you think would be the one thing you want them to take away after watching this conversation? What is one thing you want them to go away with?
I want them to think everything is possible. You don't have to speak English to make true life in England. You can work hard and be at the top if you have the determination and a positive attitude toward everything in the Northeast.
I like that. That's such a great start, because at the end of the day, I think the average person watching is probably an immigrant or some generic person who's saying, what does she have to tell me that I don't know about? And I think that's a great place to start, where you're coming from a place of positivity. You know, if you have a determination, you're going to be able to do pretty much anything. But then for context, tell us a bit about your background, because not everyone watching would know that. So tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah, I'm originally from West Africa. I came to this country when I was 29 years old, and now I'm 53. I couldn't speak any English. I'm from French-speaking country, and I went to Newcastle College a year to learn English and got admission at Northumbria University to do business for 4 years. I graduated in 2008. I went to university back home before, but in French-speaking country. Because I have the knowledge already, it was easy for me to move through the system. But it was difficult. Languages, I had a language barrier. It was not easy, but like I said before, because of my determination, I made it possible. And I decided to help other people from immigration background to integrate positively in this country and be self-worth.
Amazing. And when you studied business for 4 years. You studied in English, yeah?
I learned English for 1 year. I remember one of the girl, I did the hair, I plaited her hair, and I was late. And she called me, she said, Afi, where are you? I said, I'm late, there is a traffic ginger. And she said, what? She's from Zimbabwe. I said, traffic ginger. And they all laughed. There were 4 in the room. And when I arrived, they said, what did you say before? I said, traffic ginger. I said, it's traffic jam. I said, I hear somebody say traffic something, but I thought it was ginger. So they gave me a name of traffic ginger. And after a year, when I was finishing my course at Newcastle College, she saw me and she was talking to me, and I was answering all the questions properly. And she took her phone out and called her sister. I said, Traffic Ginger can speak English now, you know, she's trying. So I really tried. So I learned for 1 year, and I was the only one our English teacher wrote a recommendation letter to, which I kept until now, to go to university and ask them to give me a place to study a business. So
wow,
yeah,
that's commendable. And I think I want to then know, I mean, what drives you to do that? I mean, what kind of thing inspires a person to be that driven? I'm horrible with language, for instance. So if you ask me to learn a language, I'm probably really terrible at it. So what made you think you could pick up a language you've not spoken before in 1 year? And what made you actually get it done?
I live in the country. I need to communicate with people. Wherever you go to, you need to adapt. So I have to learn the language and communicate with people I live with. So I used to go to English class, 9 o'clock. There's another one, 3 o'clock. There is another one, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
And you did that for a year?
Yeah.
Give me 30 seconds to interrupt your interview very quickly. The reason I make these videos is because for far too long, the African story has been told by other people but us. And so, at Critical Factor, the core goal is to spotlight African excellence wherever it is across the world. And if that is something that resonates with you, please support the channel by simply subscribing to the channel and, of course, sharing this so that other people can see it. And without saying too much, let's get back to the interview. So in retrospect, I mean, you talked about that funny experience about Traffic Ginger.
Yeah.
But then, what were the more difficult times? I mean, what was it like in those moments when you first moved in as this young person in a new country? How tough was that?
It was tough, but at the same time, there is a lot of opportunity here. Like I just told you that I used to go to English class 3 times a day, and they were all free that time. Okay, so I'm like, okay, even if it's difficult, it's free. And I have to do this to improve my life. So that's what I did. And it paid off. So when I was at 2nd year, Northumbria University, I have to go and do placements. So I found a place at refugee service for 1 year. Well, I was working for them voluntary for 6 months before they start paying me. A lot of women used to come, ask for questions. They were asylum seeker, and they called me to come and interpret for them because they can speak English as well. So instead of staying in finance, I'm always at the reception trying to help interpret for those ladies or men who cannot speak English but they're from French-speaking country. So I find out that especially women, they are going through a lot. They have to stay at home with the kids, and the husband go to college and learn English, and they cannot communicate. I'm like, okay, I need to help those people. I went through that same situation, and I need to help my sister now to be good in the community here.
And is that what then inspired all
to
of you?
create Africaward.
Exactly.
So the meaning of Africaward is African Women in Action for Development.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the W at the end is Women in Action for Development. And most of us are from Africa, so we need to make it work.
And how has that been since you've been running Africaward?
It wasn't easy. It was 10 years now. Funny enough, they registered the organization, the company, my birthday.
Oh, yeah?
20th of October, and 20th of October 2015. That's when it
was registered.
So last month was 10 years. It was not easy, yeah. But the social impact in the community here and also in Africa is huge.
Tell us about what Africaward does, actually. I mean, now we understand why you created it, but what exactly do you do at Africaward?
In Africaward, we use a recycling material to change people's life. I did not want to create something I don't want people to be born idle. So something you have to use to do some. So we used to collect unwanted clothes, shoes, bag from people, and sort them out together, socialize, have a cup of tea, talk about our story, our life, help each other. You can go here for English course, you can go here for CV,
Right.
yeah, go here and look for job and this and that. And I reach a point we have to hire a place. We start from my living room,
Amazing.
from living room to the garage, and from the garage to a place. Finally, we have a shop and a factory place. So actually now we send 1 container every month to Africa with 25,000 kilo of clothes and shoes and bag. Wow. And women here, when you work with us as a volunteer for 6 or 1 year, we will give you a reference, you will improve your English, and you can find a full-time job. So you don't have to be on benefit, or you can socialize as well. We got a lot of women, even men, into full-time or part-time job, more than 60 people working, going through Africaward to be people who are like working full-time,
Self-sustaining and
self-sustaining,
independent.
yeah, independent. And we keep growing. It wasn't easy, but we are trying. And also in Africa, a part of the profit, we use it to pay a school fee for young girls to have education. Education, because we need our continent to be developed as well. We are coming here, yes, it's good to integrate, but also everybody cannot come. And we need to be respected. Our race is portrayed like less than nothing, and we can change things by developing or opening people's mind. When everybody is educated, like when women are educated, they educate their kids.
Children.
Yeah, so we have to make sure that everybody is educated and we can change things where we came from.
I love the fact that you're not just, it's easy to give someone fish, but like they say, it's better to teach them to fish.
Yeah.
Which is what you're doing in terms of actually empowering them with knowledge, which makes them self-sustaining and they can be independent people on their own.
Yeah.
One thing I would like us to touch on, even as we're conscious of our time now, is a lot of people tend to have what I call the victim mentality. Someone comes in as an asylum seeker, or even an immigrant into the UK feels, oh, well, I'm a victim. Everything is happening to me. My life is hard. What would you say to that person who is listening right now, who instead of, rising up and making the most of their lives, they're sitting in self-pity? What would be your message to such a person?
I will tell that person to get up and do something about his own life. One of my friends was complaining about the British government that when I was an asylum seeker and they did not give me paper to work. Now that I have paper, I don't want to work anymore because they make me lazy by giving me support or benefit every time. I say, really? Where we came from, they don't give us benefit. Somebody is giving you benefit and they give you stay now. Instead of working and saying, be grateful, you're complaining. I don't understand. You need to go and look for a job. She's working now. I forced her to get into job. So we have an opportunity in this country and we need to benefit from it and stop complaining. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but we need to stop complaining and benefit for whatever we have in front of us.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much. As a closing tradition, one of the things we like to ask is what you would say is the critical factor to success generally. So whether as an immigrant or someone who's moved into a new place or someone who's trying to establish themselves, if you were to think of your life and your journey, what would you say has been the critical factor to your success as a person?
I can only go back to the language barrier. For me, it's a critical factor. Like you now, come from English-speaking country. You will thrive than I, because your English is better. Okay? And even if I'm trying my best to be at the top, there is a little bit things I put myself back that, okay, I don't speak like Ademola, I cannot do it. And also, I think we need to drop the barrier. I don't know how to translate
that,
I translate this from French to English. When you going somewhere, don't have a stereotype mind or a negative mind in your brain that those people are like this, I cannot make it. I don't function like that. I came with a smile, and most people, even my brother, say that, why do all white people like you? I say I don't come like a victim or enemy or whatever. Everybody's different, so I came with a smile, and all the doors are open for me. One of my friends, her sister is a police woman. She told me that Afi, I was racist before knowing you. Knowing you now changed a lot in my life. I used to think black people are ignorant, they are criminal, but you're not. And now I know that they teach us a lot of horrible and lies about you people, and I need to change. I even met the police woman, the sister, so we're still friends. And I never think like, okay, she was racist, so I have to be, no. We all learn every day. We need to be open, and we need to take things as they are.
I like that. Thank you so much for this, Afi. We really appreciate you spending time here. And I think if I'm to enunciate what you said, the core thing then would be to not have that victim mentality, to go in with an open mind and be willing to adapt and to smile. You did say that.
Always smile.
Awesome. Thank you, Afi. And
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. It's a wrap then.
Thank you.